A small team of Navy SEALs carried out the secret raid to kill Osama bin Laden. Joining us with a closer look at that special operation is retired Army Major General James Spider Marks, who served as the senior intelligence officer during the war in Iraq. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
As a former general and someone who has intimate knowledge of these type of special ops situations, let's just talk about how long something like this takes to plan and just the precise measure with which it needs to be enacted.
Well, what we're finding out right now is that the intelligence work that went into identifying the target and really working the details of it began years and years ago. And we should not be surprised by that at all. In fact, our attention now will be on what took place on the ground, how this thing went down, the incredible precision, the real accuracy of what took place. But what preceded all of that was an incredible amount of very difficult, often very boring, but necessary and meticulous intelligence work that brought us to this conclusion. So a lot of hard work by a lot of agencies and a lot of sharing in order to make this right.
The president was informed back in August that they might have information as to the whereabouts of bin Laden. How difficult is it then to put a plan together, give it the necessary time to map it and plan it all out so there are no American casualties, but at the same time the fear that bin Laden could escape from exactly where they think they've got him located?
Exactly correct. You know, when you put this in rather imprecise terms, what happened is probably the CIA had a source, found a guy who was close to a guy who was close to a guy. In other words, you have to work your way into the precision of what's ultimately going to cause you to pull the trigger, make the decision to go. So in order to build this plan, it starts months and months in advance. Obviously, there was a determination to give it to the SEAL Team 6 folks. They then worked the details. And then as that intelligence got tighter and tighter and tighter, clearly the president was involved in every step along the way. But the SEALs do this for a living. These special ops guys are incredibly trained. Basically, it's brilliance in the basics. They don't do anything that's super special. They just do everything they're supposed to do, the blocking and tackling exceptionally well. And then you keep it very closely held within a tight-knit group, pull the trigger and make it happen.
Once the president gives his final approval to go ahead with the mission, how long does it take start to finish to enact?
Well, as we understand, the president gave the green light on Friday. He probably established a 72 or a 96 hour that delegated authority down to the director of CIA and said, within this time period, you got to make it happen, because if you don't, conditions are going to change, word's going to get out, et cetera. Then it's simply a matter of assembling the team, which has been rehearsed many, many times on this precise target. So they've done this in advance, in their heads, and on the ground in secluded locations. So when they execute, it really is simply a matter of staying focused. It's like a machine going about the business. Their heart rates don't go up. They stay very focused. They do what needs to be done, and then they get it done. And in fact, you know, we're hearing that they were on the objective no more than 40 minutes. I would argue that they probably had the objective secured within about 5 to 10 minutes, and then had to do some, quote, cleanup operations to make sure they were at the right place and they had the right guys, and then they evacuated.
And it's amazing that they also lost one of the 2 choppers involved in the mission and no casualties to report as of now. General James Marks, we thank you for taking the time this morning.
Thank you, Chris.
All right.